Welcome back, everybody, to Minor League Esports presented by APM Music. It's a good day all around. We've got Spartans and Jets in Academy League. My name is Grant, CFO, and joining me in the booth, it's time for our do-over. Me and Captain at Soka. How are you doing?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic, and I'm glad to be back once again. I was back last night, but now I'm back with you again, trying to get a little bit of redemption here from our last meeting. I don't know, it could have just been an unlucky charm and an unlucky coincidence or whatever have you, but I'm back and better than ever, and it is absolutely good to be back with you, here with you, Grant.
Likewise, Captain, man. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for the action we've got lined up tonight, Spartans and Jets. But this is AL, so I know a couple of the players on the field on both sides. So that's going to be a nice unbiased cast for you, first of all. But I hear that your internet's working now, so we will get that sweet, sweet redemption and show the world what you and I are made of.
We are made up of a whole lot of nonsense, poo-diggery, poppycock, skylarkins, and just good old-fashioned tomfoolery. So I'm actually really excited to see how this one goes. But to get on a more serious note before the fun begins, let's talk about these two teams. You know, we got the Spartans in the Academy League right over here, and you know, the lineup for tonight is going to be not the fake, but the real Mobags and Mr. T. And on the other side, going over by the Jets, we're going to have Sangi and Grandmaster Poppy. So what can you tell us about these lineups already? You said you know some people on both sides.
Yeah, so if we first of all look over at the scoreboards and leaderboards, Mobags and Grandmaster Poppy do sit on the assist leaderboard. Now, I've seen Grandmaster Poppy's name written all over a whole bunch of leaderboards, so definitely a player to watch out for. And then Mobags, just a good casting friend of mine. We just got done last night, and it was such a great time. Great guy. I'm looking forward to seeing how they perform with their teammate. I haven't actually gotten a chance to see Spartans AL, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, because right now we're looking at Sangi here with a 12 salary, and on the other side, you know, looking at the Spartans for Mr. T, that's a salary of 12.5. So only a 0.5 difference between the two. I know we already talked about Grandmaster Poppy and not the fake, but the real Mobags. So it's really interesting to see how these two teams are looking very evenly matched going into this game, and I could not be more excited. So, you know, like I said, I'm not too familiar with everybody in this league, and it's good to know that you are a little bit more familiar, you know, just so that way you can kind of like know from personal experience just how evenly matched these teams are.
Yeah, and then we take a look at this, right? So Spartans are fighting for one of the last wildcard spots, and they're currently 6 games out of the last spots, and that looks to be Ducks and Foxes, who have already played this week. They're tied with the Eclipse, and a series win is basically needed for the Spartans to make playoffs.
Yeah, and what we're looking at here, I mean, it's the Jets are number 1 in the division, and then you have over there at the Spartans are number 2 in the Forge division. So again, like, these are two high-quality teams, and they're about to go head-to-head. So I honestly, like, normally I would like to have at least somewhat of a feel on who I think is going to have the advantage and who is going to be at more of a disadvantage, but I really can't. I don't think that there can really be a definitive winner going into this one, just because of we keep looking at every single stat we have, we look at their records, we look at how they are in the division, and every time it's just too close to call for me.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go ahead and make the bold prediction. I'm going to go with the Jets, and the reason why is because I'm more familiar with Grandmaster Poppy being on all those leaderboards, but they do share a similar feat in being the assist, the playmaker for their team, along with Mobags. So we'll see if it does happen to be Mr. T and Sanji stepping up to the plate, but Mobags looks to take this one over to the side. They get dunked by Sanji, and this one's over into Grandmaster Poppy, blocked by Mr. T. Now Mobags out to the left side. They've got a little bit of boost now to work with off the carry, and there's Mr. T, the demo on Sanji. Now this one in front of Grandmaster Poppy, up to the backboard now, looking to clear. They don't get a read anywhere. Everybody missing the ball. Mobags and Poppy trying to contest. It's right in front of net for Mr. T, and that's the way to score Spartans first.
I pity the fool who whiffs a ball in front of the net, and we've seen a lot of fools just there, but it's going to be Mr. T who's able to finish that one out with a nice touch right there in front of the net. Not sure what happened. I think maybe tactical whiffs had a part in the play there, as Mr. T went up for that first one and wasn't able to get the touch off the backboard, but was able to follow up after the 2 whiffs from his own teammate and as well from the opposition. So well done by Mr. T by eventually forcing that one into the back of the net.
Yeah, well done all around, but it will take a little more from the Jets to warm up their defense as we get into this series. Now Poppy finds himself backwards. They're getting bullied by Mobags a little bit there. Now Sanji puts it down over into the corner. Mr. T, oh, they go right past the ball. I don't know if it's a fake, but Mobags doesn't let it happen either way. What a demo to save themselves on the goal line.
I was almost certain that was going to be a goal, and I'm surprised that it wasn't. It really looked like they had it there for a minute, but they're just having a bruiser team right now. Like, I'm seeing a bunch of demos and bump plays coming out from this Spartan team, and you know, that's really what I look for anytime I'm watching league play or any type of competitive play, because we know that demos and bumps can absolutely infuriate even the best of players. But it's part of the game, and it's even part of the meta, so you know that when you're playing high intense at Rocket League, you're gonna be seeing a lot of bumps and demos, especially coming from the Spartans. Just like that, what a beautiful pass play coming from the real Mobags over to Mr. T. Well done.
Well, no demos needed here, just a bump from the team themselves. Jets run into each other, opens their net wide open. Great control from the Spartans to put yet another and extend out their lead.
Yep, 2-0 now, so now they have that insurance goal already, and it's still early, so still has a lot of time available, so that way the Jets can kind of mount a comeback, but still, if you're sitting on the Spartan side right now, you got to be looking a little comfortable, and even more so as they get another goal added onto the lead.
We'll take another look at this. First of all, Mr. T chasing down Poppy totally scares them out of the play, and it just goes top shelf free net for the Spartans. Once again, I'm starting to double back on my prediction. It looks like Spartans have a more convincing offense to work with, and Jets really need to step up their defensive work.
I'm just going to say, for argument's sake, if you're on, the Jet side, I know you're going to be on Team Poppy. You're Team Poppy, I'm going to be on Team Mobags. I'm on Team Real Mobags on this one, just because the outstanding performance. And then Mr. T with the strong arm Sparta kicks, but hold the phone, It's going to be Sangi.
Okay, Sangi gets this one done. Let's check it out. Mr. T passes it right in front of their nose. Mobags finds himself pushed up a little too far on the near post, and it results in a goal right over the head of Mobags. 1-3, Spartans still lead.
Yeah, nothing wrong with a little finger roll floater right there. That looked like a Steph Curry shot almost. Just let it float right on in, over the one defender and over the other. Can't be mad at that. It doesn't have to be a high-speed one to hit the back of the net, but hold on. As another whip comes out in front of the net, and yet another. Oh my goodness, what is going on in front of the Jets net right now?
I have no idea, but all I've got to say is step it up, Jets. You got to tighten those down. You got to get your mechanics under control. Relax. Take a deep breath and let your shoulders relax. You got to stay on it and be consistent with these. Now Poppy doesn't even make it close to the ball. Mobags will take that right over him. Now tries to take it in front of Sangi, but it will be a flick in position. They dropped it off, tried to get the fake, but it was a mechanical. We'll call it a little lucky fake, but it does work out. Sangi back around this time, tries to get it out once again, sent in by the Spartans. This time Mr. T and Poppy clear into the corner. It doesn't go as well as they'd like. Sangi caught out for boost, and Mr. T will take advantage.
Yeah, Mr. T had a really nice read. Look at the patience from Mr. T, sitting on the wall, not going for it in the corner, instead waiting for it to come out and just lining up that shot, seeing the opportunity of Sangi out of position, going for boost, took full advantage and just took the ball right underneath the opposition. Well done for Mr. T.
Well, Mr. T now gets this clear down the other way. Sangi has to catch it and deal with it on their own here. They'll take it up the wall. We'll see if they can do anything of it. They'll actually just push it away. Now Poppy comes back in off the back wall. It's a free ball for Mobags and an open net. Mr. T hunting down Sangi, makes a panic, but he powers through. Mobags, 5-1 Spartans.
I'm telling you, look what's going on. The bump plays and the pure aggression coming from the Spartans. Like, look at this. Mr. T hunts Sangi all the way down. Like, the Spartan team is looking like the A team, with Mr. T leading the way in all these picks and demos and bumps. Like, I don't know what's happening in game number 1, but going into game number 2, assuming if this maintains the pattern, that the Jets are going to have to come up with an answer, or maybe try and work on demoing and bumping themselves, because right now the Spartans are taking full advantage of that aggression.
Yeah, absolutely, but Sangi again finds it off the post. They almost had a shot scored. Now Mobags losing a little trust in Mr. T there. They got to be careful, but Poppy moving back in. Sangi with the connection. No shot found. It goes high again off the back wall, but Mobags, they've got 12 boost and a dream here. Taking around Poppy. Poppy comes back in. Now sending it out for their own carry midfield. Sangi up for it. Man, look at the mechanics on this person. That is incredible. To even think to go up for that in AL, like, come on, you gotta get your way over to Champion League if you're gonna do things like that. Shot easily over the top for Sangi, and that's 3 goals closing in.
Now, you see, just to touch on what you were saying just now, you're talking about when Sangi went up for that questionable touch. Don't get me wrong, you know, that was something that maybe we would see in a higher-up league, like you said, towards that Champ League, and, you know, it didn't work out for him. But you know what did? The classic fundamentals of the backboard pass play. That's something that you need to do because those are the consistent high-percentage shots, and there's nothing wrong with taking them. I appreciate the ambition when you go up for something crazy like that, but at the end of the day, the fundamentals is what's going to put points on the board, and I'm glad they were able to get it done.
Well, sure, the fundamentals might do that for you. However, looking at the scoreline, being down 4 goals, they got to try something new, but there's a solid bare bones play. Power shot to the other side. Sangi picks up a hat trick.
Yeah, the Jets and Sangi now taking off. It's not too little too late. 21 seconds to score 2 goals is more than possible, even probable. It can be done, but they have to get it done on this kickoff right now.
Oh, absolutely. 2 goals to go. Poppy and T on this one. Sangi over to the other side. Might beat out Mobags here. It's a fake. Maybe over the top. No, Poppy screws it up for their teammate, unfortunately. And Mobags has it clear to the corner. 10 seconds now. They get another one downfield. Continuing another push to offense. Killing time off the clock. Miss from both sides. And the ball will touch the floor after this shot. Actually, Sangi keeps it up for a moment. Mr. T looking for the highlight, but they don't find it. Spartans walk away. Game 1.
Yeah, this game goes to Sparta, and what a game 1 it was. But one thing I want to touch on, and just getting the positives out the way really quick, Mr. T absolutely popping off, getting the MVP, truly deserved 3 goals, and not to mention, if there was a stat for demos, your points would be over 1,000 at this point. The demos and the bump plays alone, Mr. T leading the charge for the Spartans. But now I want to kind of reflect on something I saw from both teams, and could also be a contributing factor for the Jets here. There was just so many missed opportunities. Just the ball lying in front of the net, so many people missing back-to-back-to-back touches. Just a real lack of consistency there that definitely affected both teams, but I think it might have had just a little bit more of an impact on the Jets.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's so many missed opportunities, and then on top of that, we talked about earlier in the game, the defense from Jets just wasn't there. The first goal was a total disaster. Jets players flying everywhere, no trust in the teammates, no touches on the ball. It was just a mess, to say the least. There's no other way to put it, I mean, that I can think of. But Jets, they were able to kind of tighten it up as we keep going. It looks like they're warming up and turning up the heat, but the Spartans, they cannot sleep on the Jets or they're going to lose this game too. But Jets, they're close.
One thing also, you know, I know this game's getting ready to start up, but in the last game, if you saw, the Spartans had 7 shots and the Jets had 9. It's not often that you see the lower shooting team ending up with more goals. Usually it's the more you shoot, the more that goes in. But in that match, the Spartans had the higher quality of shot and the higher percentage of shots to find the back of the net. So it's really interesting to see how, like, not that all-out aggressive offense not always working.
Yeah, well, it looks like Poppy for the Jets will try to turn things around for their team. Pass to Sanji, it's up high, and Mobags picks up a demo along the way. We've also been commenting on that demo play style, but this time it catches them off guard, and Poppy will score.
And you know, that's the thing. The demo plays, as meta as they are a double-edged sword. So you have to be careful when you're going for the demos. Me, I'm a huge fan of them. But when you do that, you also take the risk of putting yourself out of position and then also possibly smoke screening your teammate and putting a smoke screen in front of your own defensive half. So you really have to be careful in where and when you demo.
Yeah, so we talk about the misfortunes of demo plays on defense, but I wanted to know in that replay, I didn't get a chance to see it even the second time around, what was Mr. T doing? They just kind of flung themselves off the back wall, and the shot went in, but they'll look to recover that mistake if it was one indeed, but they won't get it done. Sangi pushing through every single player on the Spartans defense, fires a shot early, it's still floating dangerously, Mobags doesn't make contact, open net for Poppy, finishes it in with Mr. T, unfortunately, but Jets lead 2-0.
Yeah, on this one, you know, Mr. T is the one that hit it up, but the real Mobags there, like, that's the instance where you have to hit it or they're gonna score. Granted, Mr. T didn't have the best save in the world, but it was still a save nonetheless. So you really have to put all that trust in the real Mobags to get that ball off the back wall, because in that situation, it was either clear it or get scored on, and unfortunately, they got scored on.
Yeah, and Mobags didn't make the shot there on the other side of the field. Mr. T jumped in front of Mobags. It's detrimental, and that's a sacrifice that was made at the wrong time. Sangi picks up another.
Yeah, they're just absolutely popping off. Barely even a minute gone, a minute 10, barely. And 3-0 already in favor of the Jets. Just an absolute turnaround, and Sangi is popping off with 100% goal participation so far.
Yeah, and we talked about Mobags making that clear on the last goal. Not the one that just passed, but the one before that. Mobags was definitely up to make the save, but it was just such an awkward read, especially when you put yourself in a vulnerable position on the back wall. Super duper difficult to get that out of there. But Mr. T had the trust then, but it was that last goal that put Jets up 3-0 that really started to make me question if Mr. T really has trust in Mobags.
Yeah, and you really need to have that trust, because just in the last play, like we were talking about, when Mr. T hit it up, was able to get the save, but Mobags didn't get it off the side wall. So it's really going to impact trust, and not only that, but momentum going forward for the Spartans.
Oh, well, they had some trust there, and they had something going. Mobags was taking it from the side, but nobody was able to capitalize, especially Mr. T in that position. Now, here's the trust again coming into play. They need to back off of each other. Let someone take it and calm well. Mr. T receives the pass, but they don't make contact. It could be an open net. Mobags low on boost, avoids the demo. They don't make contact once more, and Poppy will take it.
And you see, this is exactly what we're talking about last game. Not to take away from, you know, the offensive pressure here, and it looked like Sangi might have caused a little bit of hesitation and maybe even just a little bit of nerves going on there for the defender. But it's just those missed opportunities, because for me, I feel like there's not too many reasons why you should miss that chance to get that save, and it was just unfortunate. And it was happening a lot last game for the Jets, and now it seems like it's starting to hit the Spartans a little bit.
Yeah, we can brush past the mechanical mishaps for the Spartans, but we can't go past the trust issues that have been playing a big role in the Jets' success. And there it is again, Mobags pushing into the same square as their teammate. And we talk about, you know, dividing the field into 9 boxes, the basic twos rotation. If you're in the same box as your teammate, there's gonna be issues to be had because it's a double commit.
Yeah, and you know what's the crazy part going on right now is the Spartans actually have one more shot taken than the Jets right now, but the Jets managed to recover 4 goals to the Spartans 0. So you have to ask what's going on. It's starting to look like maybe the Spartans are having difficulty in their defensive rotation. Too much push and not enough pull.
Yeah, but Mobags and Mr. T again double committing on this one. Mobags wanted to save as the shot was rolling in, and then Mr. T was wrapped around the back. There's no trust anymore. You have to step up your comms, Spartans. It's the reason you sit down 4 goals with under 2 minutes to go. It's not looking very promising for a game win in Spartans' favor, but oh my goodness, we could talk about it all day long, but just trust your teammate. Sangi now has a 1v1. Oh no! We can brush past the mechanical mishaps, but maybe not this time around.
When you're talking about the mistrust, and I don't want to talk bad on nobody, but when you want to talk about the mistrust, and I don't even want to say that was not a problem with trust in the real Mobags on that one. I just think that was a great pass play coming from Grandmaster Poppy and Sangi. Like, they were able to see each other exactly where they were. They were aware that they had an open player there in the midfield, and they just took full advantage. So I don't even know if you could call that a mistrust. It was just a great offensive play on that turn right there.
Yeah, well, here's Poppy making the save this time out to Mr. T, who puts it over to the sidewall. Mobags picks up the boost, but Sangi's already ready to move in and make the attack. They rush their flick. Didn't get the demo on Mobags, but it's out to their corner now. Jets putting on an attack. Poppy up for this one. Shot on target, but too high. Now Mr. T all the way back for Sangi. The Spartans are getting quick to throw away possession, but that's the least of their worries right now. Mr. T, great save this time by Mobags. Gets the pitch save out. And it's alive once more for Spartans. Now an attacking opportunity. Mr. T, however, has thrown it away to Sangi again. And that's starting to move up in that priorities list, but that's a good beat for Mr. T and Mobags to seal the deal. They get on the board before Game 2 closes out.
Now, you see, this was just a lot better of an executed play. Like, they weren't pushing too far up like they have been doing, like, for the majority of this game number 2. They were set back in their own half, and they were able to get the job done in the midfield. And it's about time that we see them do it, but unfortunately, in my opinion, it might just be too little too late. But take what you've learned from this game and then carry that on into game number 3.
And Poppy just going to try to finish it out, maybe look for a Brazil. I mean, there's 20 seconds, and they've scored plenty of goals in short amount of times. But, yeah, we're kind of looking towards next game as a shot rolls in off the crossbar. Mobags saves it, however, sends one in, gets another to go, and Sangi can't make it back. There you go, putting some momentum towards game 3.
I was just about to say, there's no problem with getting some consolation prizes. If you go to the fair, you go to the carnival, and you try your best, you just spent $10, you didn't win the big prize, but you get a little bit of something, and there's nothing wrong with that. Go ahead and take that momentum, take those 2 goals, and again, take what you're learning from this game and carry this on into the next one. After this one, they're going to be tied in the series, so it's still anybody's game.
Yeah, anybody's game. You just took the words that I was just gonna say. Tied series, anybody's game. But man, it was totally swung the other direction. Jets coming out on top in a pretty convincing fashion. They were able to tighten up rotations, tighten up their mechanical play. But now it's an issue for Spartans. We talked about it all game long. It's trust and mechanics. If Mr. T can't trust Mobags on defense or vice versa, it's going to lead to more issues down the road. But we do look, it's pretty even in saves for both teams, picking up 4. And then shots, though. Jets put on so much pressure to cause the Spartans to panic a little bit. They get under pressure, and eventually things under pressure, they burst. And that's what happened to the Spartans defense. So great job from the Jets, putting on so much offensive paralysis and just going at it.
Yeah, they did a really good job. And one thing I also wanted to touch on is that for Sangi, like in the first game, we were talking about Mr. T getting all these bumps and demos and just being an absolute bruiser. I saw Sangi step up in that same fashion for the Jets this time. Like, Sangi was really that bruiser, and it was nice to... I always love seeing when someone gets a taste of their own medicine. Not saying that I was rooting against the Spartans or in any way, but just Sangi stepping up to that role that we saw Mr. T do in the first game and just using their own tactics against them just shows the true adaptive capabilities that is needed when you're playing in these types of leagues.
Yeah, adaptability is huge, and we talk about Sangi stepping up, and we also talked right before the series began about Grandmaster Poppy and Mobags kind of leading the way in the assists category on those leaderboards. Grandmaster Poppy, they make things happen. They let Sangi kind of take over, whether it's a solo play or, feeding them the ball, getting a pass play in whatever regard they can, as Sangi receives one from Poppy as we're talking about it. 1-0 Jets, 10 seconds in.
And I'm glad to see Poppy starting to show out now, because that was a really good backboard pass. And then again, these are the textbook plays that we're looking for. Get that ball out into the middle of the field and leave it up for someone to bring it home. And Sangi was that someone. A beautifully executed play. Nothing too over the top, just pure textbook Rocket League. And now a mishap in the midfield almost could have cost the Spartans again.
Yeah, let's go back and talk about the Spartans on that last goal. Mobags found themselves pushed up too far out in the goalie box. It wasn't necessarily near post, but they were way out of the net. They weren't on back post covering the net, and it cost them. That's why they lost a goal to their name, but they are back on offense. Mr. T looks to move it past Poppy off the back wall. Maybe a similar pass for Mobags. Strong shot finds the bottom corner. My goodness.
This one, I'm chalking completely up to shot placement. 2 defenders there, and then threads the needle right behind Grandmaster Poppy. What a beautiful shot that was. And then Grandmaster Poppy, all Poppy had to do was just stay completely still and would have blocked the shot, but instead crept up a little bit too much from the far post instead of remaining in that far post position, and it costed them a goal just then.
Yeah, it's just a big mistake in Academy League alone. This rank, you see those so much. And there was a study on one YouTube video I watched, and turns out not being on the back post is the #1 mistake, even among Grand Champs. Every single rank, pretty much. So you gotta tighten up the back post. You gotta hold down the fortress, or you're gonna get scored on easily if a shot goes in behind you.
Yeah, because in that scenario, there were two defenders in the goal, like clearly placed in the goal, and what happened is that there was, again, we were talking about trust, there wasn't that much trust there, because if it was Grandmaster Poppy would have let that defender, you know, play defense and wouldn't have had to creep up, but again, it's just a lesson going forward.
Well, check this out. I knew the moment Mobags touched this ball, like was about to hit it. He had a pinch on target. That's calculated 100%. Look at Mobags taking the lead for Spartans.
Yeah, and then the real Mobags and Mr. T got a little low 5 at the end. I don't know if anybody else caught that, but they got a little low 5 at the end and a little bit of a celebration after that beautiful cross-mat pinch. Well done.
Yeah, well done all around. Mobags now makes the push upfield off the back wall. It's a pinch to the other side. They get the bump on Poppy, though, which could help them out here as Mr. T drops it down from the backboard. It's not a clear. They'll take it for themselves. Self-pass. And that's a 2-goal lead for Spartans.
Yeah, they're showing a lot more control here in game number 3 than they were in game number 2. Just gets by both defenders. I feel like that was a little bit too much of a pre-jump, and now the Jets are kind of lacking a little on defense. I don't know if it's a lack of communication, lack of trust, or maybe just a lack of defensive awareness. I'm not sure what's going on, but they're getting beat in front of their own net, and that's something you cannot allow happen, especially coming off of such an impressive win as they did in game number 2.
Yeah, sometimes they just get a little too passive, both players. They'll find themselves wrapped up in net. And then the other thing we talked about is being pushed up on the near post, and they find themselves in that position a lot as well. All it takes is for the Spartans to put one in over their head, and then it just goes in, and it's another goal lead for the Spartans, and Mr. T is already back on it from the corner. They don't get the touch, though. Mr. Poppy, oh, hold on a second. Grandmaster Poppy, excuse me, gets the touch, but this dunk from Mobags takes it right over them. Mr. T's up for it, so is Sangi. Mr. T makes the beat shot off the crossbar. All Mobags has to do is score, but what a save from Poppy. They don't allow the ball to travel underneath them. They keep the Jets alive, and now they push over. There's a shot off the post, and Sangi can't make up for it. Oh, the shot accuracy is killing me.
Yeah, but real quick, just to touch on Grandmaster Poppy, I'm going to have to call him Grandmaster Goalie. 3 saves already for Grandmaster Poppy, and still plenty of time to make up that deficit that they have with the Spartans. But I got to say, I am loving what I'm seeing from the Spartans right now. And again, that adaptability that we were talking about, they completely switched up their play style. They're playing with a lot more control and a lot more patience, and it's clearly paying off for them here.
Yeah, and look at that carry that just came from Mobags. Now they've got a shot on a free goal. Here's the breakdown. The last defender on the Jets doesn't buy any time for their teammate to get back. Instead, they make a risky challenge and they realize, oh shoot, I can't get to this and I don't have the ability to jump for that. I gotta go back, but they just didn't allow themselves time either, and it lets the Jets have a wide open net of their own for Spartans to score on.
And this is just another thing as you go on to learn Rocket League more and more, and you start climbing the ranks and you start getting more hours, and you're going to learn eventually that once you start to commit to a play, you have got to finish it through, just like Grandmaster Poppy is going to finish this one all the way through and then bring the deficit back within 2.
Look at this. Mr. T gets absolutely destroyed on the 50 by Poppy. All the players were not expecting that, but Grandmaster Poppy was. They calculated it out and put it in, and like you said, we're now within 2 with 1:14 to go.
Yeah, now look at the cheat up already. I'm kind of like on the fence when it comes to cheat up in 2s, just because I feel like it's kind of a gamble almost, because if one thing was to go wrong on the kickoff and, you know, it doesn't go your way, then you're out of position drastically and are going to have a hard time countering defense. But it's good to see, you know, the Spartans taking a little bit of risk there, as it's the real Mobags is going to take that goal and add yet more to the deficit.
Mobags tricking it up. Ace from the sleeve, scoop over Sangi. They couldn't read that if they tried, at least not here. But what a shot from Mobags to put the game even further out of reach for the Jets. Gosh, well done, Spartans. Mr. T tries to even extend it further. They almost had it, but it goes off the left post. No one around for it. But man, this Spartans team is back to their Game 1 performance, and I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, that's the adaptability. Like, they went into game number 2 and it did not look very good for them, but they're turning it completely around now. And with just 30 seconds to go and 3 goals ahead in the deficit, you know, it's really starting to look like game number 3 is a Spartan game.
Yeah, the Spartans did not let that loss shake them whatsoever. They're back on top of it. They knew the mistakes that they had, and they tightened it up in the comms most likely, and they're able to pull out with another victory as 10 seconds wind down. It's just the final countdown for the Spartans, but Sangi will take one for the road. I don't think 2 kickoff goals is likely, but I swear, if we see 1, I'm going to lose it.
But that's okay. You know, again, we're talking about those consolation prizes because they can definitely, you know, be a factor going into the last game. Look what happened with the Spartans. You know, they weren't feeling themselves very much towards, you know, the full half of that game, but in the later half, the last 30 seconds, they were able to recover those 2 extra little consolation goals, and they were able to build upon that and following into the next game, realizing what they had to do, and they rode that momentum all the way through. So don't be surprised if we see a little bit more coming from the Jets heading into game number 4.
Yeah, I won't be surprised at all, but we'll have to wait a little longer as all players trying to keep this ball up. They know the game's out of reach for the Jets, so why not just keep it up as long as you can. Mobags takes it out. It's 50 to Sangi. It kind of saves the game a little bit, but now Jets moving in on it in front of their own net. It will hit the floor this time around, but let me say something, Captain. I like casting with you because you and I feel like we're thinking on the same brainwave, and I appreciate that. Good job, man. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, we're here, dude. We're vibing. And you should have saw the cute little face I did when you said that you like casting with me. That makes me feel so good. Right here in the old heart. Thank you. I appreciate the compliments. It's nice to get one every once in a while we're complimenting the Spartans here. And real quick, the real Mobags, not the fake Mobags. I'm talking to the real one here. We need to get together after the game in Discord or something because I need to know what chair you're using. You absolutely popped off. Whatever new chair you got, I need to get it. 4 goals, 1 save, 7 shots. That is a beautiful shot percentage coming out from the real Mobags. Mr. T, you know, that again, good performance by you too. Got a goal and assist, nothing to wave a stick at there. And then we're going to go to the other side of the Jets, and they still put up one heck of a fight, even in that last 30 seconds, being able to get those consolation goals. But you know what I'm seeing from the Jets right now? We see 5 saves coming from the Jets and only 1 from the Spartans. And you know what that tells me? You're spending too much time in your own half. Time to take flight and go supersonic speed back the other way and make the Spartans play a little bit more defense.
Yeah, you gotta turn it up. You gotta go supersonic, break the sound barrier. That's what Jets do, and that's what they need to do here. As we move on in to game number 4. I had a little bit of a pause there in my brain, but we hit the resume button and we're back. Both teams on the field now. Game 4 about to come at you. What is it? We already know what we're looking for. I don't need to ask that question. Jets, turn up the heat right now. It's what they need. Let's go. Poppy from the left wall waits Mr. T, though. They'll have a bit of an obstacle to work with, but it's sent down to Mobags, who's redirected at Sangi off the demo this time. And they will meet Mobags over on the Jets half. Sangi keeps it out for now. Mr. T, though, holding down the midfield. This is what we want to see. If you can hold down the ball in your opponent's half, you're going to have a lot of successes.
Grandmaster Poppy showing off that defensive prowess we saw last game. Grandmaster Defender is able to get that beautiful reaction time and then turn it into some offense. Almost capitalizing off the 50. Oh my goodness. Please, Grant, break that one down.
Oh my goodness, it just went too fast. We gotta break this down. What a shot from Sangi.
I'm not even sure how to touch on that one. That was just an utter back and forth, back and forth. Oh, I'm going to score. No, I'm going to score. No, we steal this one. No, we steal that one. Just constantly the high-speed balls, the high-speed chases that we were seeing back and forth. Eventually, one would make the error, and it really came down to who was going to break first, and it was the Spartans.
Absolutely, but Mobags, they don't want to break on offense here, or on defense here. They get a save, and they move it out in front of Grandmaster Poppy. Gets the dunk, continues down in the corner. Almost got past Sangi, but did fake them out. Now Poppy, weak touch up for Mr. T to capitalize on. They move up the corner this time. The ball still lingers. Mobags comes out from the midfield, 50 with Poppy. Sangi tries to send it away, but Mr. T is already back in on it. Mobags, good pushes, good tight rotations. to keep the ball moving. Now Poppy swept by in front of Mr. T to send this one out, and Poppy shot in, blocked by Mobags over to the corner once more as Mr. T from their own half, and Sangi awaits the touch. It goes over them. They bump each other. Mobags awaits a pass from Mr. T, but it's not going to come so soon. Now Poppy opens up the walls, and they've got a shot, maybe a pass, but Mobags is there. What a game we're seeing in terms of rotations, especially from the Spartans.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of increased gameplay now. Like, these look like two completely different teams than when we first started. They're moving at a much faster pace, and they're being a lot more controlled with their decision making. Like, Grandmaster Poppy had a beautiful idea of being able to pass that one out into the midfield, you know, looking for Sangi. But again, the defensive reaction coming out from the Spartans were able to cut that pass off and take it away. So I'm loving that I'm seeing so much respect coming from these two teams and them actually taking control when they maintain ball possession instead of just giving it away.
Oh yeah, but it's looking dangerous here for the Jets as they move into their own half, now into the corner. Mr. T got the 50, and the ball will hang itself up here in the midfield, but Mobags, big booming clear down to the other side. Jets make the save. Oh my gosh, that was risky, and I think Grandmaster Poppy might be having some controller issues. They looked a little stationary, but I think they're back and ready to play as Mobags will try to move it up the wall.
Yeah,
Flip reset in AL. Hello?
Ooh. I was going to say that last save made you drop your jaw a little bit, didn't it? I thought that one was fit to be an own goal.
Oh, for real. I was right there with you, feeling the same emotions, but Poppy is already back to the Spartans half, taking it to them. Great pinch clear off the ground from T, but it's over by Sangi again, who takes it in, tries to get over Mobags, and it's very risky to be pushed up like that, but they had the backup in Mr. T. Jets will try one more shot. Good 50, but Mr. T will have to get this one out. Pre-flip there to keep pressure going, but Mr. T has already put it down to earth. Poppy wants to take it up to the heavens, but they don't get a roller. Now it's over in front of Mobags, again, making the save and having T as the backup. This is the defense we wanted to see tighten up at game one.
Yeah, that's what the Spartans needed, was to play that defense, but I like that the Jets have pretty much counterattacked from their play style that they had in the previous game. We saw that they were in their own half for the majority of the time, and now it seems like the Spartans are starting to be a little bit more on that back wall here in this game number 4. So it's really nice, again, to see that adaptability, and now, instead of the Spartans, it's coming from the Jets.
Yeah, and here's Mr. T, though, for the Spartans. It's a pop up high for Mobags. Mr. T up for this one. Very questionable to go for, but Grandmaster Poppy gets it out for now. Mobags sends it back in off the post, and now to the backboard. It's an open net. They've missed to the right side. They needed that. 45 seconds to go. You don't know how many more opportunities you're going to get, and Mobags knows it exactly. They try to get the pass to themselves, actually. And that new chair, man, I'm telling you. That is the difference maker for Mobags.
It's got to be the chair. Like, just a beautiful shot, beautiful follow-up, and they did not give up. And just as I was saying that the Jets, for the majority of this game, had the ball in Spartan territory, and they did not give a lot of ground. But when the Spartans finally scored, the Jets just could not get out of their own half. They started to fall in a little bit into those old habits that we saw from the previous game, and the Spartans took advantage, and almost taking advantage again, but Sangi with the beautiful save.
My goodness, what a game we've got so far. Still anyone's, though. Mr. T receives the pass from Mobags, and they got to clear it out again. Looking real risky, but they've got the rotation solid to hold it down as long as their mechanics keep up with their brain. Now Sangi trying to move past Mr. T, but not going to get by so fast or quick. Now this one off the lip. Mobags looks to read it off the crossbar. Oh, no. 1 second. They couldn't find it. Sangi keeps it up, though. It rolls along the corner and hits the floor. Spartans now have missed so many opportunities. Oh, it's heartbreaking to watch.
Yeah, now we're seeing some really risky gameplay here. Going for the cheat-up kickoff in OT could have been deadly, but so can a double commit. Very questionable coming from the Jets defense there. You don't want to double commit too often, so please dial that back just a tad bit if you want to take this game here in overtime.
Yeah, and here's Mr. T. They want to do just that. Back pass to Mobags, up high for Sangi, and it's played over to the side wall. Now they move it up for their own. Poppy up for this one. Now Mobags receives it in the midfield. Try to cut off Sangi, but it's Jets' favor right now. Shot over the top to the left side. It goes wide. And unfortunately, they've still got work left to be done. Jets, though, they can't get past the Spartans' defense just quite yet. This shot floats over, saved by Sangi from Mr. T again. Now Mobags to the other side. They gotta get it out of here. And they do finally, but it's still in their half. Dangerous situations. Poppy finally gets a booming clear and allows some breathing room, but shot and saved again by Mr. T. What a performance. Missed by Sangi, and Mr. T has some room to go.
Yeah, I could tell how intense this game is because I can hear you losing your breath just from going from it. And I'm not even one doing play-by-play, and I'm almost breathless just from watching this, trying to analyze what I'm seeing as it unfolds as Sangi gets a beautiful demo on Mr. T. But it's really coming down to the defensive strategy here because both of these teams, from what I can tell, are having the most troubling times when they're trying to play defense. Like, they're barely getting caught off guard. I saw Grandmaster Poppy backwards in the near post and just trying to go in reverse, but luckily the backup from Sangi was there and able to get that danger out of that blue half. So it's really going to come down to on who makes the defensive mistake. We already know both of these teams can play offense. It's just their defense that I'm starting to question a tad.
Yeah, and I think if I had to pick a winner for this one, it's Spartans, because there's mutual support, there's mutual backup plans in both defensive rotations. Mr. T can push up on near post with Mobags in the back, or vice versa, but this time Jets Grandmaster Poppy wasn't back, and Mobags takes that new chair and scores a goal and the game.
That chair has to have some of the best back support because the real Mobags is just showing up with the most real support. What a beautiful show out from the real Mobags. You know, and again, not the fake Mobags. We're talking about the Authenticano, the real one. That's the real Mr. Mobags. Well done. Again, picking up that MVP tag, getting the 2 goals, shooting, you know, getting 100% shot participation. You know, and again, it just comes down to their shots. 13 shots coming from the Spartans, that absolute aggressive offense that we've seen them play before in game number 1. And then going over to the other side, what happened to the Jets? The same thing that happened to them earlier. Look at the saves. 8 saves coming from the Jets, just being strangled in their own half, and they're kept confined to their own half, and they're not allowed to play that offense. And the Spartans took that to a complete advantage, and that was just pure big brain strategy. That's what I call that.
Oh yeah, you definitely get caught in your own half, and the Spartans, it's just 200 IQ. You keep the pressure going, and you're able to pull out with so much. The more shots you put on target, that's more opportunities for the ball to go into the net, and that's what the Spartans are so good at. And then, like we talked about, we're saying the defensive rotations from the Spartans, though, it's more mutual. And what did I say? They ended up on top in game number 4, and they take the series.
And you know, the thing with the Jets is that I actually prefer the play style that they're trying to do, the defense becoming the offense, the fast break plays, because I am a heavily defensive player myself. Even when I played competitively, even when I played, you know, with, you know, some different types of orgs and teams, I love playing that defensive play style. Like, I love being able to take my defense and turn it into offense. But that's the thing, though. You can sit back and play defense and then stack up all the saves you want, but at some point, if you don't turn it into offense, it will come back to bite you. You have got to make the other team sweat, and you have to make the other team play defense too.
Yeah, a good team is a well-rounded one, and the Spartans have got that, and it's no wonder they've taken the series from the Jets. They probably could be looking at a 4-1 with the warm-up that they're feeling right now, but Sangi will keep that hope just shy right now as they keep it in the midfield. Mr. T couldn't move up. It's a block by Grandmaster Poppy, now up by Mobags. Wants the double touch. They find the read. Mobags, the chair, it's overpowered.
That the real Mobags absolutely just popping off this entire series. And not only is it the chair, but I'm feeling the white Zombas. It's got to be the power of the white Zombas, the most soft.
Amen.
Like, I'm just saying, you get it, amen. Yes, can I get an amen in the chat, please? The power of the new chair and white Zombas is definitely showing out for the real Mobags. With that being said, for the Jets, you still have plenty of time. 4 minutes in game number 5. Remember, every game counts, and Sangi makes it count. We're tied at 1.
Oh, look at this. Sangi pops it up this time. They don't get a double. They wait for it to come down. Mobags didn't even think about jumping, and it goes right over their head and into the center of the net. We've got a tie game.
And just barely a minute gone, and we're already going with the back and forth, and I'm loving what I'm seeing. And then, you know, we're going for these more intense plays. We've already seen a double touch come from the real Mobags, so you can tell all of these players are getting completely warmed up as we see some better and better plays just like that.
Look at this laser from Grandmaster Poppy, placing the right part of their car to send it straight in. Mr. T had no momentum, and they couldn't even reach it if they wanted to. It's 2-1 in favor of the Jets now, and Sangi and Mobags meet each other on the kickoff. Mobags looks for the flick early, but it's a block by Grandmaster Poppy. Mr. T, though, looks to fake out Sangi. I don't even think they needed it. I think they just got a shot in.
Yeah, I'm really not sure, because when you look at it, you know, at first glance, you think, oh, Sang is going to be able to get there in time, but it was that last second nudge. Maybe it was Mr. T kind of baiting a little bit, taking things slow, and then just getting that last second nudge to push the ball forward. Just out of reach of Sangi. Well done by Mr. T. And I gotta say, it's so crazy to see how much these teams have improved in such a short amount of time. And it just goes to show that the warm-up is real. In the beginning, we've seen miss after miss. We've seen Whiff City going down in front of both of their nets. But now we're seeing some high-performance plays and some high-performance aerial touches, and I'm loving it.
Oh yeah, I'm loving it too, but here's Mr. T. Maybe wanted it to roll up so they could get some more high-flying action, but Mobags gets some of their own, but it's blocked by Grandmaster Poppy, sending it back out. Mr. T looks to contest. It's a block by Grandmaster Poppy again to keep it out of their own territory. Sangi pushes forward. It might have been the mistake, and it was! Mobags sees it and takes it all the way.
And again, just gotta come up for an answer with the real Mobags. Now that we're seeing a lot more high-flying, high-paced, you know, Rocket League mechanics going on, I haven't seen as many demos or bump plays coming up. So when we see the real Mobags popping off like this, maybe the Jets need to start taking off and taking out the real Mobags.
Well, on that play specifically, it was a matter of Sangi pushing up when they didn't need to. Grandmaster Poppy had control unless they called them off. I don't think it was the right decision at all, and it cost them the lead even. And now Spartans have the advantage as we hit halftime.
Yep, now Sangi looking to get some bump plays going, but a good dodge there from the real Mobags. And still, that 1-goal deficit at halftime is not a huge mountain to climb. You just have to execute, make the right decisions, and do not give away anything for free.
No shots given away for free here. Mobags try to get a backflip fake, but they can't take it the rest of the way. Mr. T now up. Mobags with a doink shut down by Sangi. Miscommunication, or not a miscommunication, but they just ran into each other. Mobags doesn't get the save. They could have put it up to the backboard, but they chose the post. Difficult shot either way. Spartans, they ran into each other early, and it cost them here.
And this is just painful to watch. Even for every Rocket League player knows this feeling. When you're trying your best to get back, you're boosting it all out, you're flipping, you're doing everything you can, and then you even make it to the ball, but not enough to change the trajectory, and it just goes in whether you like it or not. And it's just so unfortunate when it happens to you, so I feel for the real Mobags. But with that being said, great shot and taking advantage of the collide that happened between the two Spartan players. Way to be heads up and way to react to that and take advantage to tie up the game.
Yeah, it's one of those when you try your best but you don't succeed, it don't feel too great. But Mobags is looking to bounce things back in the Spartans' favor. It's up to the ceiling. Now look for the demo. We talked about that earlier, but they didn't make contact and it could cost them on the rotations. However, great job by Mobags to get back in time for this one as they carry it out. We've seen them go for carries before, using their boost real well, feathering it out, but Sangi catches it below. I don't know why they jumped there, but it's going to allow Mr. T to make the push into the corner now. Sets it up for Mobags, who might think about going for it. They don't. Sangi gets a strong shot. Maybe Mobags should have gone for it. Tough save, but they get it done. Mobags. I don't even believe this is AL. Those are things you see more in Champ League and less consistency with that in an Academy League. But we'll take it, and so will Mobags.
Yeah, because the play they were trying to run just now with Sangi, the far deep shot, those are the plays that I typically go for when I play. So when I see it unfold like that, I know how hard it is as a defender to kind of backtrack and try and make it there in time. And we just seen the real Mobags do that in the previous play, except for this time the real Mobags did make it back there in time.
Well, if you're just joining us, we got to provide some context to what's happening, though. This is Game 5. Spartans have won it, but they need they needed a 5-0, but they can't get that. However, if they can get this 4-1, they might have maybe a gasp for air next week to try and get themselves in a wild card spot for playoffs. I've just realized this, and the Spartans, they won it, but Jets would love to take that opportunity from them and end it in a 2-3. But if nobody can score right now, we are going to go to overtime.
And it's starting to look that way, as overtime is what we're going to get here in game number 5. And this is exactly what we look forward to every time we play. We want to see a game 5 overtime, but unfortunately we don't get to enjoy it for very long. We only got to enjoy overtime for a total of 4 seconds because, again, taking the risk for the overtime cheat up, and this time it pays off.
It was a great time while it lasted, but a kickoff goal is the way this series comes to an end. Spartans do walk away with that 4-1, and I'll have to double check my math if that does anything for them, if they can still make playoffs. But what a convincing victory in the end. Great performance from Spartans. Round of applause.
Yeah, and the Jets did an absolutely good job too. They were able to, start picking up on that defense, turn the offense play style. But unfortunately, it just wasn't enough, and it's not a perfected craft that they have just yet. Because when you look at the stats here, you got, again, 9 shots and coming from the Spartans, and they only had to recover 2 saves. So there was not enough pressure coming from the Jets, making the Spartans cause those defensive mishaps, and it clearly showed because the Jets were in their half the majority of the game, 5 saves, mostly playing defense, not playing enough offense, and the Spartans recover with that offensive pressure and are able to take the 4-1 and take the game in game number 5.
Yeah, and what a way to go out. Like we said, just great performance in Spartans. Gosh, that was so much fun to watch, so much fun to cast. That was so just jam-packed with action. You had Mobags and Grandmaster Poppy, like we were talking about, 2 of some of the best players in Academy League and definitely some of the best playmakers in Academy League. They get it done in the end. Spartans come out on top. What a way to end this series. But we still got more to come. Next up, it's the same team, Spartans versus the Jets, but in a league lower, a tier lower in Foundation League. But it's still going to be crazy. You're not going to want to miss it. So sit back, relax, maybe get up, make some popcorn, use the restroom, do what you got to do to be here for this next series, and we'll see you right after this.